is it like to have the President of the United States as a father? Well, historian Doug Wead is author of All the President's Children. He's interviewed 19 children of former presidents. He's with us here on this Father's Day. Thank you so much for giving up part of your Father's Day to join us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with President Obama. You know, in some of the polls in his politics, he's taken a hit, but everybody seems to uniformly agree on a personal side he's a great dad.
He's a great father. In fact, he's one of the greatest fathers we've had in the White House in recent memory. There have been a lot of dysfunctional families in the White House, but he keeps his promises. We're going to Chicago. We'll go to Chicago. He puts the kids before politics, getting them into a private school when he's a public school advocate. He's an honorable husband. He welcomes the mother-in-law into the White House. He's textbook perfect. The psychologists say gentle but firm. Those three words should guide fatherhood, and gentle but firm describes Barack Obama as a father.
Okay, so great marks for him, but I almost hate to ask, is there a president that hasn't been an especially great father?
Many. In fact, most presidents are pretty terrible fathers. It's kind of disheartening to study it.
It is.
Abraham Lincoln was one of our greatest presidents and one of our worst fathers. He showed favoritism. He publicly was estranged from his firstborn son and ridiculed him. He told journalists, I don't think he'll amount to much, but his firstborn son became a great figure of history, one of the richest men in the United States. And he spoiled Tad so bad that it became a bit of a scandal. But you know, Tad Lincoln was 12 years old when his father was murdered, and he himself died as a teenager. So what harm did it do? They were two men, father and son, who loved each other and spoiled each other and had a little bit of joy in their short time together on earth.
Now, we've had a couple of father and son teams that have actually both been presidents in the White House. Let's talk about the most recent, the Bushes, 41 and 43. What do you make of their relationship?
Well, there's going to be bookshelves full of books about those two. Very complicated relationship. The one dynamic I see in their lives, and in many of these presidents, in the relationship with their father, is completion. Psychologists say we seek the approval of our father through mimicry by doing what they do. Yale, airplanes, president.
Absolutely.
And by what they don't do, completing what they don't do. So you had like JFK Jr. become a publisher because his dad always wanted to be a publisher. And with the Bushes, you see that so perfectly. I worked for Herbert Walker, and he was always talking about Herbert, who was a cousin or his uncle, and he said, what a perfect life. He owned a baseball team. He said, I can't imagine anything more fun than actually owning a baseball team. And so help me if George W. didn't go out there and buy his own baseball team. So it's the things we do for love of a father and approval from a father, completion.
And we just have a few seconds left, but I gotta let you tell us the story about President Ford because it's such a good story.
Well, there's bad father, good father, and bad father was abusive, a wife beater, and that woman didn't stay with him. She fled with her little baby, and years later she met Gerald Ford and married him, a paint salesman in Michigan. He adopted this baby, gave him his own name, Gerald Rudolph Ford Jr., and loved him, and he became president of the United States. So that's what the love of a father can do. And I just say this about Obama. Obama's father left him when he was 3 years old, and Obama could have been a bitter person, but he chose to process that differently and said that his father went back to Africa. Most Africans came to the West, got their education, and never returned. My father kept his word. And sometimes it's not what happens to us in life, it's how we process it. And that's how Obama chose greatness instead of bitterness.
Great stories, Doug. Great to see you. Thank you so much. Happy Father's Day to you, father of 5.
Thank you.